welcome to Memory Maps. Today we are going to be making the South American outline map. So I'm going to go ahead and label this South America. And we aren't going to make any folds for this particular map, but I am going to measure down about 2.5 inches from the top of my paper. I'm going to go one side and over to the other side, and that's going to give me an idea of to make my equator. So I'm going to measure up my tick marks. Now, as a reminder, tick marks are just little marks that we make to help us level out our ruler. And I'm going to remind you about ruler placement. Middle finger down, thumb finger down, and you're going to brace down on it. You want to make sure you're not hanging over the edge because you don't want to make any squiggly bumps. You want to make sure you stay in the middle of your ruler and putting as much pressure so that you can keep your ruler stable. Always keep your ruler hand on your ruler side and your writing hand on your writing side. You don't want to be looking over your hands in any way. So if you're a lefty, turn your paper if you need to. I'm a righty, so I'm going to go ahead and do it like this. But if you were a lefty, then you would be doing it this way so that you can see your line. You would measure it up this way. Notice that I would keep my ruler hand with my ruler hand and my writing hand so I can see what I'm writing. You wouldn't want to be like this, right? We don't want to be like that, and we don't want to be like this. So we don't want to cross over. So I move my paper. You're always allowed to move your paper if you need to. Okay, so measure up those tick marks, draw a line. And now we have the equator. And I'm going to go ahead and write it over here. I have a little bit of glare on my paper, I'm sorry. Equator. Okay, so that is our first latitude line and our only line that we're going to make for latitude and longitude, so the equator. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make the top of South America. Now this is not going to be exactly the way South America looks. South America has some swoops and dips and curves, but we're going to just kind of make this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this pentagon shape, and it will be great. Okay, so now go about 1 inch down or so from the top of your paper, and notice that I didn't go from the middle. So we don't want to, here's the middle of my paper. I went slightly left of the middle of my paper and up. So it's down. So I don't want to start the top of South America in the middle of my paper. We're going to go over because we're going to need that space over here. It juts out, which is what we're going to do right now. So we've got the top of South America right there. And now we're going to go down about 1 inch or so. I'm going to go over about 1 inch and down 1 inch. And that is going to be my point for Brazil. So I've got a dot up here for the top, a dot down here on the other side, on the bottom, underneath of the equator. And now I'm going to go over back over to the side on the equator. I am going to go about, let's go about another inch over, and I'm going to put a dot there. Okay. So now I've got 3 dots. I've got one on the equator, one above the equator, and one below the equator. Now we have 2 more dots to make and we can close up our continent. I am going to find the dot that I made at the top, and I am going to go down on my ruler about 4 inches. Normally I don't have you measure out, but sometimes it's just nice to have a little bit of a grid. So I'm going to go about. Now I say about because it's not always exact. But I'm going to go ahead in here and notice that this dot and this dot are in line. I'm going to go ahead and do one more dot, and it is going to be in line with these. Now I'm going to go almost to the bottom of my paper. I'm just going to go at 9. So we'll just remember we have 1 at the top of your ruler, 4, 9. And those are good measurements. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and close it up. So this is a diagonal line. Then we go straight. Now we're going to make another diagonal line to the one on the equator. And we're going to go top of our paper and close up that top to the side. And there we go. That is our outline, our basic outline for South America. Now let's go ahead and add in our countries. Now the first line I like to make is the one from the top of our continent. And I'm going to go, if you notice, there's this dot right here. I want to make sure that I go below that line to about halfway between the bottom top point and this one. So I'm going to go find it, and it's not exact, but it's about halfway between these. And then I am going to do, now it's important to do this one first because this is going to guide all the other points. The next one I'm going to do is I'm going to find the middle dot that I made, and I'm going to find the intersection between the equator and the line I just made, and I'm going to draw through that, connect all the way through. And now I've made this wonderful V shape for the country Venezuela. It's kind of nice to remember. Okay, now we're going to make another crossing line. So from the middle dot, we are going to go not horizontal, we're actually going to go diagonal. We have a dot here. Now let's go ahead and just go up a little bit. Ooh, we're going to make a little bitty triangle. Now this is going to be for Paraguay and Uruguay, and now technically, if you look at a map, they're not connected in this nice little hourglass that we're going to make. But for the sake of being able to just locate generally where the countries are, we are going to make this. Okay, now I'm going to cross, like I just said, we're going to make an hourglass. So I'm going to just close up this little triangle. So now we have this nice little hourglass here. Okay, the next thing we are going to do is we're going to chop up this triangle with two lines. We're going to take our ruler and we're going to go one chop, two chops. And we're going to chop up this triangle right here. Just chop off the edge right there. And we have one more line to make. This skinny line down here. Now I like to say about the width of a pencil. So now, you notice something here? I can't see what I'm doing. So I'm going to turn my paper upside down so I can check the width of my paper. Because I don't really want to do anything where the ruler's hiding my space where I can't see it. So if you can't see it, turn it around. I did that with this one and I wish I wouldn't have done it. So I want to make sure I turn it around and so I can see what I'm doing. Alright, now we go to labeling. We've got Colombia. O. So make sure you don't have a U in there. That's American. Okay, then we've got Venezuela. Venezuela. Then we have Guyana. I had a kid in, I believe it was 2nd grade, and he was from Guyana, and his name was Guy. How cool is that? Suriname. Yeah, Guy from Guyana. I will always remember that. Then French Guiana. So we have Guyana and we have Guy. So this is Guian. And if you can't fit it in there, that's totally okay. Or if you want to draw a line and write it, that's fine too. Then we have Brazil. Then we have another B. I kind of say this looks like a little bit like a lowercase b. Bolivia. Ooh, that was a weird looking B, wasn't it? See, I even checked my handwriting. Okay, then we have Paraguay, P-A-R-G-U-A-Y, Para, and then we've got Ura, so U-R-U. So that is fun spelling. We can get P-A-A-R-A and then U-R-U. Okay, and then we have Argentina, Argentina, and then Chile. And then Peru, I believe, can't remember which one it is. My kids and I watched a video where they got golden ants. These people were cooking with ants and they were putting gold leaf on them. I believe it was Peru. I could be wrong. Ecuador. So notice the difference in spelling for Ecuador and equator. E-Q-U, equator, and Ecuador, C-U-D. So check that spelling. You don't want to spell them the same. All we have to do now is add our water. So we've got the Atlantic Ocean, then the Pacific Ocean, and the last thing, compass rose. We always put our compass rose in here so we can get our direction. So never eat soggy worms. And there you go. This is the map of South America. You did it. Good job.